Hi everyone, welcome into this week's weekly CBS Fix. What? Are these new glasses? Yeah, but I already got these 4 weeks ago. You should have noticed back then. But anyway, welcome in. This week's video is dedicated to my cousin Shlomo and Esther Nissenbaum. Mazel tov to both of you on your son Yossi's engagement. May you only know of joyous occasions. So in this week's Parsha Shmini, we learned the different animals that are kosher, not kosher land animals, so an animal that chews its cud and has split hooves, as we've explained in the past. And a kosher fish is one that has fins and scales. Now, I'd like to share with you a Mishnah in Tractate Nida that talks about makes different facts about animals. Now, we have to realize how amazing this Mishnah is, because how can they have known this information? So I'll share with you. There's 2 statements it says over there. The Mishnah says any fish that has scales for sure had fins. So, which means if you find only a partial piece of fish and you see the scales on it, you know for sure that it was a kosher animal. There's any kosher fish, because if it has scales, you know for sure it had fins, both signs of a kosher fish. However, the reverse is not true. If you find the side of a fish that you see the fins on, it's not necessarily a kosher animal, because if you don't see the scales, it's not a kosher fish. Now you got to ask yourself this question. How is it possible that the sages of more than 2,000 years ago in the Talmud could have written such a statement that if you find a piece of fish that has scales on it, it's for sure a kosher fish, because it's guaranteed that there were fins? Even today, marine biologists don't know all the marine life in the seas. Especially back then, 2,000 years ago, what percent of that? How can any human author have made such a risky statement that till today actually has been disproven? The answer is, though, very simple. Because the sages of the Talmud wrote information that they got traditionally all the way back to Moses, who heard it himself from God. And God knows about all the animals that he created. And therefore he told that to Moses, and we have it down to our tradition till today. It's an amazing thing. And of course, all the evolutionists and all the Bible critics are looking for that one fish to disprove the Torah. And guess what would happen if they found it? God forbid that would disprove the entire Torah. But trust me, they're trying hard to disprove, but they have yet to do it, is yet till today to be disproven. There's another statement that the Mishnah makes over there, and a wild statement. And this is already a statement of the Torah again, though. Any animal that has split hooves and chews its cud is kosher. Now the Mishnah states that any land animal that has horns is for sure has split hooves. But not necessarily is there an animal that you'll find that has split hooves that has horns. And so therefore, what the Mishnah is telling us, that if you find an animal that has horns, it's for sure a kosher animal. Now, again, we have to ask ourselves, the Torah was written about 3,300 years ago. How could any human being have known all the land animals that are out there in the world? Back then, they maybe knew what was in their natural, what there was in their environment around them, or maybe they were able to walk 5 miles that way, 5 miles that way. They couldn't have known what was on the other side of the world. How could a human being have made such a risky statement and told you any animal that has horns for sure has split hooves? How could he have known that with such possibility, with such exactness, with such certainty? The answer is because Hashem wrote the Torah. And Moses wrote it down word for word from Hashem. And we got it straight from Hashem and from Moses. And so Hashem knows exactly what animals are. And therefore, again, the Bible critics are looking all over for this animal that may have horns, but not have split hooves. But guess what? They haven't found it yet. Now, we can have Amunah and Bitachon. We trust in Hashem. We were blind believers. There's no such thing really in Judaism. In Judaism, you've got to prove as much as you can. There's both. It's a deeper subject. I don't want to take too much time. But there's Ha'arat HaTorah, there's what the Torah teaches you, and then there's what your mind convinces you of. And the more and more that you can prove Torah to yourself, the more and more you'll be happy to be Jewish and be excited about your Torah. And so therefore, this is certainly very important. So there's many other proofs that the Torah is certainly divine. If you want to know more of them, feel free to call me, 732-556-7576 for more information. But till now, think about these 2. Have an amazing Shabbos. Thank you for listening.